Hello, audience. My name is Dawson. His name is Justin.
Hello.
And today we are recording episode 1 of our new show, Throwback Thursdays. Now, with this show, it's very self explanatory. Every Thursday, we will try to come at you guys with a new video where we review old movies, 2005 and back. And that's kind of our Throwback Thursday review. So we decided 2005 and back because we were 8 years old when 2005 was happening. So that's kind of throwback for us at least. And there's a ton of movies 2005 and back to review and go over. And there's so many great masterpieces from those times. So we decided that we were going to do that. That was going to be our time frame. But today's video and today's movie, we're going to be reviewing A Beautiful Mind, which came out in 2001 and stars Russell Crowe, Ed Harris, Jennifer Connelly, and Paul Bettany. And it's directed by Ron Howard. And it's basically, the synopsis is, after John Nash, a brilliant but asocial mathematician, accepts secret work in cryptography, his life takes a turn for the nightmarish. Which that is the synopsis on IMDb. But basically, this movie is about a mathematician played by Russell Crowe named John Nash. And he is a schizophrenic who kind of goes nuts.
Very much.
That's the whole movie. And just an FYI, or for information for this movie is based on true events by the real John Nash. So Justin, I gave the intro. Tell me what you thought about A Beautiful Mind.
This movie is kind of every second I was going from one emotion from another. Let's see, what's the character? Paul Bettany's character Charles. I found him funny as hell, and then things got sad. Then things got really sad, and things started to lift back up a little bit, and they got sad again. It was such an emotional roller coaster, and I loved every second of it because I have not felt my emotions like this in so long. And it was such a nice, not so nice. It's nice is a weird way to put it because it's such a depressing, yet happy, yet sad movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it felt good to have my emotions retuned, basically.
Because you will feel happy, you'll feel sad, you'll feel scared, you'll be mad, you'll feel depression. I mean, there's every emotion in this movie. You kind of feel it somewhere throughout, even if it is just for one very small scene.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Paul Bettany was probably one of my favorite characters in this movie because he brought that comedic humor to it.
And then it hurt so much when it turned out he wasn't real.
Yeah, so there's 3 characters in this movie that are just not real. One is an FBI agent.
Patcher.
Patcher. Or what's his name?
Patcher.
Patcher,
played by Ed Harris.
Yeah, and then there is his best friend Charles, who is played by Paul Bettany, which he's also a figment of imagination. Mm-hmm. There's also a little girl, but I don't know who the little girl was played by, but she was
Vivian something. I have it right here.
She was the
she was played by, I'm sorry to cut you off, but she was played by Vivian Cardone.
But she was the niece of Charles in this movie, and they're all figments of his imagination, and it's kind of sad. Now, do you recognize Paul Bettany at all?
I feel like I should. I know the name, but I'm so horrible with faces.
So the second I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh, Jarvis!"
Oh my god, that's 100% right. I've
Jarvis
never seen his face before.
Yeah, Jarvis and Vision. I was like, "Oh, look, it's Jarvis."
I've never seen his face before. Barring Vision, but at the same time, it's so much shit on his face that it's not really his face.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing him because I haven't really seen much of him besides in the Iron Man movies and in the new Avengers movies. You don't really get to see much of Paul Bettany anymore. But yeah, that's Vision. Paul Bettany's Vision and Jarvis. But anyway, this movie for me had like you said, so much feeling in it. There's so much about this character, and so my mom has worked with autistic kids for almost 20 years. And watching this movie, and I've also have been around many high functioning and low functioning autistic people. My neighbor was a high functioning autistic for many years. And this character, John Nash, I don't know why, but he felt like when I was watching him, it felt like he was like Russell Crowe was playing a high functioning autistic. I don't know why, but just some of his mannerisms, some of the things he said and did. I don't know if it's just because of his schizophrenia or
Hmm.
because of just he was so beyond people
I mean,
that he
I can
just acted the way he
100%.
did. Like he wasn't like he said so many times he was not social.
Yeah,
He's not a social person.
I can 100% see where you're coming from with that because like when he was playing that game with at like the really early in the movie
Yeah.
when he was playing that game and like he knocked over the table and all that was going on, I just knew I had the feeling like this guy is definitely not right in the head. There's something that's just there's something that's just wrong,
And
and it's like what is his issue? Like it's before you find out, it's long before you find out he has schizophrenia, and
yeah.
it's like just what is wrong with him? What is his mental condition?
And I kind of felt like something was wrong, not in the autistic spectrum, but something wrong was wrong with him because I even realized very early on that Charles was at his wedding. He wasn't at his congratulation party, his whatever congrats party.
Hmm.
He wasn't with him in a few scenes, but the only scenes they were really in together when it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
So I knew that he wasn't seeing him when he was in a group of friends. It's almost like he was distracted by
Hmm.
certain things, so he didn't really think about it. And they never popped up. But I realized early on that Charles might not be real.
See,
And
I didn't.
I went into this movie not knowing much about it. I only knew a few things that I've seen in like a few fact videos, but they never gave spoilers to, you know, the twist of the movie.
Yeah, like I didn't put like two and two together. Like I noticed him like not in his friend group,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize like he's a figment of his imagination. I just never put it together
Hmm.
until they're like
Until
he's
that
not.
doctor said, "Have you ever seen him? Have you ever
Yeah,
seen a picture of him? Have you heard him? Have you gotten letters from him? Have you was he at your
yeah,
wedding? All that thing." And the wife is like, "Oh, fuck no." And now that you mention it, but no, they're best friends. He was busy. He was working. He had lectures. He had all these things, and then you start actually realizing, oh, okay, yeah, it's something he's imagining this.
can I just say one of one of the hardest scenes for me to watch was when Charles was watching the kid.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking
I
about.
was so close to just giving up on this movie as a whole. It was like
Because
this
I
movie was
I
just hurting
I
so bad. It was like the kid almost died.
Yeah, I immediately knew that when he said it's okay and she went out to get the clothes, I was like, this baby's gonna drown.
Yeah.
I immediately knew. I said, okay, so this is where this movie's gonna go. And I honestly did not know if they were actually going to go
Kill a
through with
baby.
that or if they were going to, if she was gonna come back in. But luckily, she came back in and saved the baby. But I was very, very like, oh, okay, this is about to go down. This baby is going to drown.
Yeah.
And that was very terrifying for me. And I almost felt the same thing of, I don't know if I can watch this happen.
Yeah, like there's just so many parts of this movie where I just want to scream at my fucking computer. Like, what the fuck are you doing? No, go, run, do everything. Ah.
So there are a few things in this movie I just want to bring up because we kind of given our opinions on this movie. It is a great movie, an emotional roller coaster. But I did mention I have seen a few fact videos about this movie, and a lot of the events that happen in this movie, of course, are not true. He never worked for or he never worked for the Department of Security,
Hmm.
um, but there's a lot of events in this movie that didn't happen. They never showed a few parts, like him and his wife got divorced
Hmm.
and they got remarried in 2001. After when this movie came out, they got remarried,
Hmm.
but they did get divorced at a certain point, and that was never in the actual movie. They actually uh, they got remarried.
I feel like from a
Um,
point of storytelling, though, that just how they told the story that would not have fit in there.
but I also don't think that she was actually at the Nobel Prize thing. I don't think she was actually there either.
True.
There's a few things in the movie that they twisted just to pull at the heartstrings,
Hmm.
and it worked.
As movies producers and directors do.
because there's plenty of movies that are based on true stories that the full story is actually not true.
Mhm.
But overall, this movie was great, and I do have the unfortunate um, duty to say that John Nash and his wife did die
Mhm.
in a car accident last year on May 23rd.
Damn.
They were in Monroe Township, New Jersey, and they were in a taxi. They were not wearing their seatbelts, and they died on impact when after they flew out of the car, more or less. So they both died last year. Um, but overall, this was a story about a man who brain worked overtime
Yeah.
in two different ways in his work and in his social life. He made up friends, he made up people, he made up scenarios, and this movie is very. It's hard to watch, but it's also one of those movies that you can't take your eyes away
Yeah. Definitely.
because there's so many. There's like we said, 3 times now. There's so many emotions in this movie, and you feel for this character, but you also can't help but hope not something bad happens to him, but that he is locked up.
I just the whole movie. I just wanted him to just
Snap out of it
yeah. Like I wanted him to just like find the one
because
thing that works and that clicks and just fixes him.
because you see in this movie he has a beautiful mind. The
Hmm.
way he works and the way he processes things and the way that he sees the world is extraordinary. It's something to behold.
Hmm.
It's something. It's beautiful and it's crazy and there's so many things that about John Nash that are so intriguing, but you can't just help hope that he just snaps out of it and that he just gets over this illness. But it's one that he apparently lived with for many, many, many years
Yeah.
without knowing about it and knowing about it. But okay, there's one thing I have to talk about that I literally like. I loved it so much. Before we kind of end off and
I
give our
mean, there's
final
also one thing I
thoughts.
want to bring up, but after you're
Okay,
done with your point.
when she tells him to take out the trash and he takes it out and he's talking to somebody and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "The trash man." She said, "The trash men don't come at night." He said, "Apparently these ones do." And all of a sudden you hear the garbage truck pull out
Yeah,
and the garbage man walks by the window and she's like, "I'm sorry."
I
He's like,
love
"It's okay."
that.
He's like, "It's okay."
I freaking
Uh,
loved Jennifer Connelly's character.
yeah.
Like that is a great addition. I mean, of course, this movie is a biography, but
Yeah.
it's just the whole. She
But
makes the movie
I
click.
loved how self-aware he was
Yeah.
towards the end because he was like, there's one point where the Nobel Prize committee came to talk about him about that he was in a runner-up for the Nobel Peace Prize,
Hmm.
and he had to ask one of his students if he was real,
Yeah.
which
I'm
that
not
was
good with new
just
people.
yeah, like he's like I don't really trust new people, and it's so great how self-aware he was, but it was also very sad.
Yeah.
And it's just very sad because you're like these people, we come in contact every day with
Hmm.
people like him, and it's hard to wrap your head around. It's hard
It's hard to fathom.
to accept it.
Yeah.
These people are actually out there, and it sucks. But what was your final thought
Um.
that you want to
Towards
say?
the end of the movie, like the real last like tail bit before the Nobel Peace Prize kind of thing, when he was in the library and the first kid walked up to him. I think his name was Toby. I was like, is he real? Please tell me he's real. God damn it! I need him to be real for my soul to be better. For my
Yeah,
own sake, I need him real. And like it was just so nice to see him actually like teaching us like the couple students or like tutoring them more or less. It's just that made it feel better towards the
yeah,
end, like that he was actually still able to deal with real people
hmm
and didn't become completely socially inept.
yeah. Because
Uh,
he was going down a dark road of just becoming a recluse.
mhm.
Uh, but yeah, this movie was very surprising. It was very long too, 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it was a
Yeah.
pretty long movie. It's more 2 hours total because there's about 15 minutes of just credits.
Credits always take forever.
But it's a 2-hour movie, and it's one that you're not left wondering, of course, because they kind of tell everything that you need to know.
Hmm.
But there were a few parts in the movie. I wish there was more, but I got what I wanted from this movie.
Yeah, it felt like
I
a pretty good package.
Yeah, I got what I wanted from this story. I got what I wanted from these people, these characters, and the cast all around did a superb job, a very, very good job. And it won the awards for it. Like I mentioned just earlier, it won 4 Oscars and has another 33 wins and a total of 63 nominations.
That's
So
so
it
fucking impressive.
definitely got the recognition that it deserved. And yeah, so Justin, out of 10, what would you give A Beautiful Mind?
To me, this is an easy 9. This movie did so much to me, more than this movie has taken me on like a emotional journey that I have not felt in the longest time. This movie just hit every single note for me, and it almost the whole thing just worked. So, how do you feel about this movie, Dawson?
I would give A Beautiful Mind. Shit. I will give it an 8.5.
Fair enough.
Are you glad that I recommended it
Oh,
for us to watch tonight?
100%.
Okay, good. So,
100,000%.
all right, good. So that's pretty much it for episode 1 of Throwback Thursdays. Justin, will you please take us out?
We'd like to thank you all for watching. Let us know down below if you've seen this movie, or if you are going to see this movie. Let us know what are your thoughts and opinions on it. What would you rate it out of 10, of course? And that's pretty much it. We'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.